So yesterday, scrolling through Twitter, and boom, this hits me. Breaking, Trump plans to announce next week that he will decertify the Iran nuclear deal. Yeah, as far as Obama's accomplishments go, everybody knows who listens to this show on a regular basis that I think he's a massive, massive mixed bag. He did good things, he did bad things, and I did a whole segment. Go check it out if you haven't yet. It basically breaks it down. I break down his entire presidency and give him like a report card, give him a grade. So check that out if you haven't. But this is one of his biggest accomplishments. Basically, what the Iran deal does is it makes it so that Iran doesn't get a nuke. And in return for the guarantee that they don't get nuclear weapons, and by the way we verify that is the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, regularly checks in and they have to report back and they have to keep their enrichment below certain levels so that they only use it for research and for power for their power grid. But basically what happens is if they agree to not enrich past a certain point, in return, we relieve economic sanctions on them. So we lift the economic sanctions, that revitalizes their economy, that makes them wealthier, they can create more jobs, and the idea is, hey, if we can get on a better footing, if Iran and the U.S. can get on a better footing, then maybe in the future there's some sort of economic deal and, you know, we can move away from the brink of war because you know what the rhetoric is like. We like to say Iran's the number one state sponsor of terrorism, which, by the way, is hilariously stupid and totally wrong. Saudi Arabia is the number one state sponsor of terrorism. But the idea is, okay, you guys don't get a nuke. In return, we lift sanctions. And basically the only way to violate the nuclear deal is if we put sanctions back on them. Guess what? Not only did we do that, we did it multiple times. We did it multiple times. We're supposed to, okay, like the right-wingers have this shitty talking point. They're like, you gave billions to Iran. What they don't tell you is that's us giving Iran back their own money that we stole from them. So they don't tell you that's their money. We just stole it from them. Now we're giving it back as part of the deal. Hey, you let the IAEA in, we make sure you don't get nuclear weapons, and you can have your own money back, and we lift sanctions. So Congress decided, hey, we're going to vote for more sanctions on them. Of course, Trump has been talking shit, not just with North Korea, but with Iran for a while now. And usually, Iran always responds in kind. So whatever the U.S. does, they'll do something similar. So if we violate the nuclear deal, they'll turn around and violate the nuclear deal with like a missile test or something. And of course, what does the U.S. media do? They never give you context. They never give you perspective. They never say, hey, the reason Iran did that is because the U.S. violated the nuclear deal first. But, you know, Trump's in a room full of deep state neocons, and they've always wanted regime change in Iran. They've always wanted war. They've been pushing for it ever since Bush and Cheney were in office. So now it looks like they're going to move even closer to that because, I mean, think about how disrespectful that is. We do all this work, we get this nuclear deal, and then we violate it repeatedly, and then now Trump's saying we're going to pull out of it. It's the same thing like with the fucking pulling out of the Paris Agreement. It's... What do you want? The answer is he doesn't know. He's empty. He's a vessel for the wishes of deep state neocons. And he doesn't care that this destabilizes the region even further. He doesn't care that this makes it more likely that Iran will get a nuke. Not less likely, makes it more likely that Iran will get a nuke. So this thing that he claims he cares most about is the thing that he's bringing into reality. They're more likely to get a nuke if he pulls out of it. So it looks like, yet again, he can't help himself, pushing to the brink of war with North Korea. He'll want to push to the brink of war with Iran. And make no mistake about it, if indeed we get to that point, it will be because the U.S. is the aggressor. And here you have Trump doing the bidding of deep state neocons and Israel and Netanyahu. Their number one enemy in their mind is Iran. In fact, literally to the point where they would support jihadist proxies against them. In fact, you have Israel has treated jihadists who are fighting the Syrian government. Think about that. They're so against the Syrian government and the Iranian government that they're willing to de facto align themselves with jihadists. That's taken a page out of the U.S.'s book, too, because we've, of course, funded jihadists for decades now. But this is where we're at. Getting out of the Iran nuclear deal, which is one of Obama's best accomplishment, if not his best accomplishment. So buckle up, because this wild ride, this bumpy ride, is about to get even bumpier.